Hello, Odd Job Doer here. And today's little assembly job here is this product here by Allen and Roth. Not too sure if you can get any more. I think this one's from the Lowe's store. Maybe that's their brand, their thing there. This one here is called the Southport. It's a 26-inch wide by 67-inch high, 9 3/4 inch deep, in espresso color. Not coffee, but espresso. So it gives you, more. And anyways, we're going to assemble this today. And I don't know if we're going to stick it over the toilet, but we're definitely going to assemble it. So get ready to install it over a toiletto. Let me just bust it open here and see. Right now I'm checking to see, well, it's no longer sold on Lowe's.com. So if you have something like this, just sitting around going, man, I wish we had instructions to do this. Hopefully this is your video. Alright, I'll bust open and gather some tools. Alright, so we got some parts laid out here. We got over here, we got long legs. We got this, probably a backboard that goes back here. This here I think is a shelf. This here might be a side. There's another side over there. And we got this flimsy, there's the flimsy backing. This here's probably, that's the door right there. Okay, so we also got this nicely organized parts list. And it's funny because they include that. Allen wrench, right? Those, I have so many of them. I collect them like the heads of my enemies. I collect them like cards or miniatures. And we got over here. These, not these. But all these down here, these aren't nail-ons, these are little bitty screws here. Not as tiny as these up here. But what you need with this is, a screwdriver. So I got one of these here, right? It transforms from a P2 to what they call a P1. Just by slightly pulling it out. Never mind. It's the other side, it's one of those guys. So P1, Phillips number 1. Phillips number 2, and since I am a pro assembler, I don't use that little key thing, hex key. I use this right here, right? A little hex bit, 1/4 inch drive shafter, right? And right, so that's the tools you need. No hammers on this, and I'll open up the packet of goodies down there. If you're someone that likes to follow instructions, they got this here, right on the back here. They show where you can like take a little knife or something and cut this out, or you just rip it off and make it half done, half not done. And it's okay. It's okay. I'll get those pieces later put together. So the important thing was when I ripped off the back, I didn't blow it up all over the floor. Now this assembly project, like most of these furniture things, is best done on like a carpet surface. So here we got some nice carpet, right? A little gray. And the first thing we need is a left upper side panel B. If you look real closely, closer, oh, there's an F. This over here, that is an M. So we're going to start with B. Panel B. Is it this one by chance? Now, let's see. I bet that comes in next. So, we want panel B, and we want cross D, upper cross D, top edge. And the middle dowels are BB, and then attach panel F. And nuts CC. Those are those cam nuts. Alright. Let me grab the part. Okay, so here is a side BB. No, not BB. B. And we got part D here. Now D is what that is going to be, is a support. And there's a special thing here. You got a hole here, right? But you have a hole with a countersink there. It's a little hard to see. Anyways, the countersink you want facing in like this. And that's control. This here's held in by two of the wooden dowels. And just pop them in here. And the reason why you want those countersinks in there, because this here is going to be what they want you to mount to the wall to keep it secure. So it's in there, and they go right into these holes right there. Like to kind of get on it and push down, like so. All right. Then you have the little metal rods here. They're called a metal dowel. These right here. Go down on the very bottom. Man, this is hard to see. Should have gotten the. I guess this also comes in white besides this color. But this here takes two dowels in the innermost positions. So one here of wood, and one here. And in the outer positions, it takes the metal dowels, as they're calling them. These here you want to get as square in as you can when you put these in. And I always do by hand. Snug it down, don't strip it out. Because if you strip it out, you're going to be hurting. Well, or I think your assembly's going to be hurting. You'll be fine, don't worry. Of course, if you're assembling this for someone else, then you might not be fine. You'll be angry. Right, so we got that done there. Then we go with shelf F. Okay, this here, trust me, it says F on that sticker. But you have there, basically you got the metal dowel slips in here, wooden one goes in there, and once again you have these big holes. Those big holes are for these cam lock dilly bobbers, which I'm sure you've seen before. Alright? And almost all the time, since we know that the top of this is up that way, you want the holes facing down. So I'll make sure to put those holes here facing towards the camera. And you also check just to make sure that all sides are, like the same finish. Alrighty. And like that. And the cam locks. Cam locks have a, so you get a good look here. There's like a metal tooth thing there, right? Metal tooth thing. Whoa. So the dowel goes in the hole here, and then this here burp, turns and gives it a headlock. I like to say. And there we go, get in there. Spin around for it. Whoa, headlock. Tighten it down, not over strength, but nice and tight. And the other side too. There. Now, that part is step one. Next step is an easy one, because you already pretty much did it. You take a C, side C, and you just complete the assembly here. So you get two more wooden dowels, actually you get four more. Two metal ones. And you go find side C, which happens to be on the other side of the unit, right? Whoa! Gotta hurry before I lose the light. Camera's not getting low light. Camera gets all sad. Okay. I might also point out why I got C up here. This here has a back edge to it. And the front one, just has smooth, right? So that's how you know that goes to the back. And here, I will do the metal dowels like so. Crank it on down, nice and snug there. And next one down here. Come on. Okay. Snug it. There. Now, back to this right here. I will do the wooden dowels, both here and here. And if you really want to and take the time and think that just put these things in by itself is no good, you can add some glue, I'm sure, some wood glue. I've done that to some of the products I've done, but that's an optional thing. Okay, now then, let's start back here, putting this on, and sinking this down in here. Alright, then 2 more cam locks on the bottom there should do it. So I'll do that and get to the next step. So here I set it upright very carefully, because it's not too secure yet. You don't have nothing besides wooden dowels in there that fit kind of loosey. Now here you got, if I zoom in closer, you got here where the top attaches. You'll have the wooden dowel goes back here and here, and then the metal dowel goes through here, already attached to the top board A. And I'll give you a clue, same thing. When you're putting this on A, you got this shelf again back here, right? That goes towards the back of the unit because the front's nice and smooth. And you've got 2 metal dowels, which I've already installed. So I'll do 4 wooden dowels on the top part here, and on the other side here, and back here, and fit this top piece on it, like so. It's also going to help sturdy it and square it up, hopefully. No hammers needed, just a little bit of tapping. And this gets 4 of those cam locks. I think you saw them, that they go basically right up underneath here. So I'll put the cam locks on. Okay, so something I just kind of learned here. These here, I say use a screwdriver on, Phillips number 2. You don't necessarily need to. You can use the Allen wrench right in there. Or, since I don't use that pitiful Allen wrench, I use this right here. Now this right here is not 1/8 of an inch. This is a 5/32 Allen key for this particular model. And what you can also use, though, is just a slotted one. Fits right in there too at the top. So a few ways to put that on. And the next spot needs 4 of the wooden dowels, which you can kind of see there. I got them on the back there already, and I'll put one here in the front right there. Bloop. And this here is actually the back side. I flipped it over, turned around, so now I have the back facing the camera. So wooden dowel there, wooden dowel there. You see a little hole there, though, and that is for part JJ. we've got these screws here, right, with a hex head. Now that's the good part. The interesting part, though, is G. G panel. It says G. Has this groove on the back, right here, right? Has a smooth part on the front, and so you make sure that groove is back here. Okay. Now comes the very interesting part. This is the first time I've ever assembled something like this. Of course, I haven't done this one before. That they have holes here. Well, up here for the wooden dowel, and here's where the screw comes through. No. Oh man, that might be messed up too. Let's see here. Wooden dowel goes in this one here, not up here, too tight. So your screw's supposed to come through here, your wooden dowel here. Flip this puppy over there, and look at that. It's all smooth. This is still going to work, just that it's horrible because these holes here is where the screw's supposed to go through, and of course it doesn't, but the wooden dowel fits in that, and these here, bad. So I'm going to have to bore this out a little bit to get this thing in. Get this thing in just a little bit, right here. Am I on camera? No. So bore it out a little bit, don't go all the way through. This one here, I'm going to have to take that screw and find a drill bit to go right in the center of this to go all the way through. And the sad thing is, I'm assuming the bottom part here should have been countersinked. So, off to the lab with this to do some modification. See what happened. So, bored out the top one, where the far side runs. So hopefully this little dowel will fit in there. And these here, I went all the way through, and not only did I go all the way through here, I tried my very handiest to do a little countersink. So when the screw goes through, you know, it's not totally crushing it because, you know, it's that kind of screw, right? One of those. Yeah. Now, time to assemble it. And we got here the groove here. It's going towards the back here, and a other one's going to go right on top there. So, hopefully I bored in enough, not too far down, and they are tight, so I might take a little coaxing. Oh, well, that side's going good. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even check that. Oh, that one isn't good, but no, theirs isn't good too. Problem is, and everyone's laughing at me now. I'm laughing at me. Is that if you look real closely, you see how close that bigger hole is? Yeah. Well, this one here is not even close to it. It's that far away. So, let me rethink this real quick. Alright, so you're still here? So, what took just a minor segue to this one here, you can see there's more light in here again, is actually it took 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. I got a full-on beard now, and yeah. No, scratch that. But yeah, it's about a week. And so what I had done was I had the customers call in and see if they could still get this part, the real, I believe it is A. No, this was an A. This is marked G. This is actually an A, like the one on the top there. One of the things that gives it away too is these 2 holes here that you'll see me using a little bit. And because that actually goes down yonder. And I will do that right now. So let me zoom in here. So this is actually the top, right? And you can see those little, it's like a little big old snake bite, right there, giant finger. And right there goes from your packet of parts, goes this chintzy little magnet thing here, right? And it faces out towards the front. And two of these little sharp screws here, right there. You see that? All blurry and stuff. Yeah. So use my number 2 Phillips, I think, to drive these home. Oh, yeah, that'll work. And a funny thing about customer service and stuff. Apparently, so they called on to get the part sent to them, and they needed the right part, basically. And what Lowe's said was, let me take your information, I guess. So all this kind of information, and we'll send it back to the factory and see if they can get such things. Maybe they can make another one that you can pay for. Right, so mind you, this thing's technically brand new, although bought a while ago, from what the story goes. And right now, I'm going to just kind of cinch this down a little bit, because I'll adjust it after the doors get on. That's one. So, purchased a while ago, receipt, who knows where it's at. And they basically are like, we don't care if it's our factory's fault, well, at least so far, that you are missing the part. But thanks for calling. Oh, and yeah, so now they're waiting for the factory to contact them back by email, whatever means, just to see if they can buy that part. In the meantime, as I said, it's been about a week, and so I was like, let's see what I could do, right? And so, 2 things today. One thing is, I'm going to start doing some more heavily modifications on this thing. And the second is the manual. The manual's gone missing. So this is going to be truly a test to see if I'm the master assembler that I think I am. Right? Now, one modification I'm going to do is you have the legs here. Okay, I know these are the legs because I remember the manual before, and there's the long part. And the back part of these legs have these holes here. This is going to be on the inner side of it, and this is the back part of the leg. You see how straight it is? Around here in this town, this part of the world, most bathrooms seem to have some floor molding of some sort. In this case, they actually have a linoleum that rolls up the wall a little bit, and maybe goes about 4 inches, and it only sticks out a 1/4 inch. No, maybe a little bit of half at the bottom. So what I'm going to do with this here is I'm going to measure in their bathroom where it goes to see how far up that molding goes. I'm just going to kind of mark it and, well, mark how high it goes and mark how deep it goes into this thing. And I'm going to take a scroll saw, probably a medium to fine blade, and I will, just to make this kind of quick and easy, take both half of these. Remember, this is in the inside, so I'll sandwich them together so it's hole to hole, and the back leg here, and I'll just with, well, that's not what a scroll saw sounds like, but yeah. So scroll saw it to make a notch here, so this whole leg here, including the top part, can all fit more flush against the wall. That's one modification that these type of manufacturers should start incorporating in their stuff. Yes, it's a little tricky because sometimes it's like 2 inches, sometimes it's 4 inches. Fancier homes have like 6 or 8 inches. There's some kind of math involved, but here is what we have. So I'll modify that part. The next modification, and this one's going to be a pain, is I got this here out for some more precision type measuring, And we have this thing here. This is the part we got, which I'm pretty sure the outer measurements of this one here, which was marked G, was actually, I think, an A, are the same. That's the hole patterns, which are totally different. And I will precisionally measure out where these holes are at. So we have 2 for those screws and 2 for the wooden dowels on this particular one, and redo them in here somewhere. In fact, I might even just take these here. These are for the wooden screws. I might not even redo these, but I will redo a hole on the top of here. Mark where these go through, and drill a fine drill bit through and down so the screws can go through nice. But I will have to remark where the wooden dowels go here, because it's not here like I should before I cut off and ran away. Is that this hole should be closer to this edge. And how much closer? Well, this is where the measuring starts. So we're back here in this back corner on this one, way back there, right? And it's nice and blurry because, you know, that's how it happens sometimes. But basically, I just pop this up in here and go to the very back, which is this part here. Slap it on, go to the center of the hole, like so, and that there we're looking at, let me see, about 1/2 inch, 5/8. I think we've got 5/8 of that hole. Now I jammed up my little tool. Anyways, so not to bore you on this any more than it's already been done, but I'm going to basically take, after I got that measurement there, you know, locked in, then I will take this part here and making sure I got this edge back here, and both of these sides should be mirror images of each other. So it's like we have it here, you know, flip it over so this notch is in the back part, and so measuring from there it's going to be like this, you know, it's going to be boom, the 5/8. But I'll go like this too, and measure how far in it goes, or I'll measure from the bottom, well, what's now the bottom, but now the top part down there, because it does have a little bit of overhang on both sides. You know, if you look down there, you can see, way down there, you can see that overhang. Right there, you got the board coming out and then overhang. So I can measure that, and then I'll know where to put the hole back there. And not drill through it, just drill enough to put that dowel in. And I'll probably have to realign the one that's right here. Okay, that's the first thing that I'm working on. The next thing is, I'll be flipping over this this piece here, right? And you have those things there, because after this goes on, you need to put the legs on. The legs, once again, are like this. You know, you got your hole there, but this one here, you can tell, has this thing down here for the metal dowels, and then we got a wooden dowel next to it, right? And then over here, a wooden dowel, metal dowel. You have these two things here, and that's over here too. Now those two things, holes, will line up with what I have here is part O. Part O is a support deal, and so part O, support deal, right? It goes between the legs of here and here, and you got two holes here. So one hole is going to be for a wooden dowel, one's for a metal dowel. And then you have over here, you have this thing here, and one hole here. Now this hole here needs to be precision measured to sink in a metal dowel to, I believe, this side here. right on this part. And so it goes somewhere in the middle there, and it should be great. So I'm going to do some measuring and some marking. I'm going to be trying to concentrate, so I can only have to cut once or drill once and measure 400 times. And if it all goes well, I will have that part ready to go. And if it doesn't go well, then this will be a lesson on, you know, unbox your stuff when you get it maybe, even though you don't want to, because you don't want to install it then. And I will help the owners throw in the trash and get rid of it, because the only thing I fear is when you call a factory to have remanufacture something, they're like, sure, we can get that part for $100. And you're like, so half of what was paid for this thing? Or I don't know what you got paid for. Okay, measuring and work. Less rambling. So as you can see, I butchered this pretty good. Measured about 4¼ inches up, I think. And then back almost about an inch. And I think that's just barely, because of the way the linoleum curves at the bottom, really does kind of come out more than the wall. And I already tried it out, and it looks like it's going to fit just right. Another note, if you're looking for these things, or any kind of furniture almost, if you want something like quality, which this isn't too bad, I guess, you really want to get something that has adjustable feet on it. Because even though this is pretty, pretty straight between here, your floor might not be, and versus the wall too. So, pro tip: masking tape of some sort, so when you do your sign, you don't mar the finish. And it also helps try to keep chips down of this stuff here, which isn't too bad. So I'll just take that off. And in the meantime, the next thing we need to do is concentrate on the holes, right? Because I'll be having to re-drill a bunch of holes. And the best way to do such things is with a, well, that's in my mind. I mean, I'm sure there's other measurement tools out there, but this shows a very old and ancient, something called a drill index. It says it right here. There we go, drill index. And so what this is you open this puppy up. This one here is has every single size of drill bit in it. Supposedly 1 to 60. And what that means is you got these here. Look at those beauties. And so if you're new to drill bits, they have such things like decimal points to some of them. Like for instance, the number 1 is actually a .228, right? That's precision stuff. If you went to like a, let me see, does it go smaller? Yes, it does. The higher the number, I believe the smaller the bit goes. And so when you get to a number 60, which I can hardly see, is a .040. And that's that little bitty thing that you probably can't see at all. And it looks like I'm missing a few there, but that's fine. Let me see what I can look for here. Here's a .120, right? .125 is an 1/8 of an inch, so that's pretty close, which is kind of weird because that's 30 and 31. 31 is .128, a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. So the purpose of this is now I want to find somewhere on this monstrosity to where I know they have the wooden dowel, which I believe is right here on the top of this leg, and even a better thing is on the inner side here you got 2 different size holes, right? Zoom in here closer. So you have one here smaller, one that's bigger, and what we do is take in such drill indexes here and seeing, you know, what fits in where. Like that right here, too tight for that one. This one here, too loose. So I'll go down a notch. If I get this thing back in there. Okay, down a notch for here. So close, but not quite. Might as well use the bit side. Nope, not fit in there. Then I'll go down another one. Hopefully these things were stored in the right order. Basically, till I find one that's going to fit snug in there. But go in without twisting it anymore and drilling it out. This here is this is it. This one here, that's good for that. So I look at the little place where I pulled it out there, and that is a number 6, or 0.204. So 0.204, I believe, is not the wooden dowel. 0.204 is these metal dowels, okay? And so all you gotta do is drill in about a 1/4 inch, it looks like. I'll double check on the measurement, and wherever I'm putting one of these back in, it goes right in like so. Now, so the bigger one here, that's gonna be the wooden dowels, and those where it says bigger than that first one, so I'll go the next one over. I did some already, but I just kind of, blah 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 it. This here makes it a little bit looser, so you want something just maybe the shade bigger. And you know what? I don't have it in this set. That was the number 1. So let me double check that again. Yeah, too loose. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my normal drill bit for that one, which I've already drilled those out before, and that was a good drill bit size. What it was, can't remember. So here comes the super technical part, because as you can see, the semi-technical part was cut that notch out, not very technical. Super technical is measuring these holes up here and those holes down there for the wooden dowels, and where they go onto part G, which is actually an A. Anyways, so measuring, drilling, be back. All right, so look at that, huh? Pretty nice, right? Probably not. We'll see what happens. Look at the backside. So groove here. I'm gonna go down over there. Before that, this here gets this one gets 4 wooden dowels, one each corner, like so. And then I think we've been here before. This part here goes on top, and I think it goes with this hole right here. So I'm just gonna place it like that, and let's see what happens here. Oh, the front's going down. Oh, oops. Trying to crush it. At this point, it's going to be crushed. Okay. So that there is actually almost in there. Just need to get down and take a look-see here. Like so. And out. Like so. That side there's pretty good. Come back to the other side. Spot on, in theory. Now then, the next step of this here, it takes the 4 screws that no, don't worry, screws right here. And so with moving around, I believe the screws go into these holes here now. And if I'm right, it should go right in because I lined them up with the holes that were there before. So we'll see what happens. I'll just kind of crank away. I'm using the hand driver here. Oh, that's right. I need to fill up on that screw. Maybe 1/8" or what was sign on here? 5/32 hex. Nice and tight. Okay, let me get these 4 on here, and I'll be back. All right, so trust me now, these screws here, tight. So I hope that's a good sign. And right now, you know, some people on the internet, they say on the whole blogs, whatever, they say this turn down, slap the back on this thing, and hang it as a cupboard. But I'll continue this in hopes of greatness to happen. So next I do 4 of these metal dowels. And it should screw in right in here. Oh, don't fall on the ground. Here, these are like the far holes. So put this in. Hopefully it seats down just right. Okay, and then the back one there, it's going to get a wooden one. Well, that is probably going to be fine, depending on the legs. So, if not, a little drill will go a long ways. Let me do the 4 metal dowels and the wooden ones. So I went 4 of the metal studs here. I meant 6. There's 2 in the middle here, that middle bar. Measure that out. I forgot to drill it out in the outside atmosphere, so I did a little drilling here. I would have filmed that part, but I really didn't want to say any bad words on the film, yeah. So, success, it worked. And now I can continue. So what we got now is the part there, or I should say the cross members here. This is one reason why you might not want to just have it as a cupboard. Because you have these parts here. This is going to go like so, actually. Hole there, goes in like that. And abracadabra, get in there. Goes like that. And so it's going to add a little bit more support to the shelf. And, well, also to the legs. So what this takes, though, is on the end caps, it takes wooden dowel here, which goes into the legs. And the leg also takes a metal dowel that goes in through here again. That right there, see? So I'll get said parts here. And give me a leg. And of course the legs are not interchangeable the way they go. What you want is this business here. These here towards the back. No, this one goes to the front. This goes to the back. You know it goes to the back here because there's down lower another 2 holes here. Plus I cut the notch out, so I know it goes to the back. And but these here go towards the inner part. So yeah, this goes around that side. And dealing with this top piece here for the cross member. The top one gets a wooden dowel. Boop. Maybe not there. Well, yeah. Probably goes in there, but I'm just going to stick it in here at this end. So wooden dowel goes in here. See that? And that leaves the bottom smaller hole here. Gets the metal dowel, which of course this might be a little bit harder to do with this angle, but I have faith in me, kind of. Let's see here. Shimmy it all into place here. Snug it down. Boop. Okay. So, assembly time goes like this. This part here goes up. Wooden dowels here. Put those in. Hate to have like 500 pieces left over. So these go right into the top of this here. And this is going to test to see if we got those holes deep enough. And this here goes like that, metal dowels. Alright, and wooden ones go in there. And yes, it squares up nice. This one here, you don't have the back is towards me back here. So I'm going to flip it around here and change the position of this wooden dowel. The other side will go in too. But in here, and it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I believe it goes like this, and then that goes down like that. Now then, I will grab onto some of these lockers, and they'll go into the back hole here, and the ones down here. But I'm not going to tie it down because now this here also has another one that goes back here to the back part. So it goes and installs the same way. It goes this metal plug here, wooden dowel, metal dowel. I'm not sure from the camera, and it all gets tightened up. So I will put the pieces in there and tighten them all up. Oh my, look how small it is, way down there. It's like squish. Anyways, so got the bottom legs on, and there's one little caveat, problem. An issue here is that there's a board. If you have the part labeled correctly, it should be P, and P goes way down here at the base in the back. It's going to be kind of hard to see, maybe, I don't know, it's hard to see on mine, but right about in here somewhere, big finger, right in this part right here, there's two holes in there that take the metal, I don't know, call them studs, the metal dowels, they go in there, and then you have board P goes across it. Right, so you have this like here, and in theory you should be able to put those on after, like you put them in, put one side in, and then kind of move the legs over ever so slightly, put the other side in, and lock it in. The problem is when people design this thing, I don't think there's a standard on where your plumbing comes in through the wall, and this particular board hits right across that. And I've seen it also complained a bit on the internet, so other people have the same issue of this board getting in the way. I found that there's other tree things I've installed before where the board got in the way, and this one's not so bad, because once again you could precision measure and just move those wooden dowels up or down a little bit. If you move them up, then in theory this whole thing should be kind of, well, probably not. It might be a little tough to get in to the toilet space with this board there, and if you move it up. What I suggest, or in this case probably will happen, is that this board will go bye-bye. I won't even have to use it, because when I get this in place, and first of all, you should probably put this board on. I don't know what the instruction says because it's not around here anymore, but this board should probably go on after this is in place behind the toilet, just to save you a bunch of headaches of moving this around, because this is going to go back against the wall. And then did my tray leave the station? My train of thought, anyways. And then you put this board on afterwards. But this time, I'll probably just forego it, because you have the legs down there to kind of help with the overall support of it, but then you also have at the very top here, I'll show you, there's a couple of holes. They're the pre-drilled ones, and right there, you can see the hole ever so slightly, right there, and they're like, that's where you put this the screw kit through. Now the screw kit in this case is something like this here. Here's some parts that are not left over, but you have this wall anchor and you have these screws that go in there. And I'm not going to use these. No way, not for this. What I will do is try to find a stud behind the wall where this goes. And instead of using their pre-holes, which is hair and hair or so, I'll just drill a hole through there and put a different type of screw through. A nice big flat-headed lag thing that uses a torque, right? I think people know what I'm talking about. If you've seen my other video on, I think, hanging a white bathroom cupboard, I use those on there. And in this case, if I want to back up, if you have this baseboard here, the problem is you really need that plus a leg. Without it, it's going to look weird, but that baseboard here, same thing. You could drill a hole through it and put that to a stud, and that will make it so the legs aren't really needed, but whatever. In fact, well, yeah, I digress. What we got here is a mess of screws. So I'm going to use these here. You can see them, they're pan head, I think, and these here are the V head, which is not their technical term. And those, I believe, go when the hinges come into play, and these go in the back. So on the back. This is laying down on that's front, so the back is up. And we'll go with the basically the back to this, which also stabilizes it. So we have H. Now H has a thing there. It says up, right there. You can see a little arrow right on my thumb, and you see there's holes there, right? There's holes right there, right? Ah, my finger. Anyways, those are going to go down, and in the back part, we're gonna have that notch everywhere, and you're gonna line those holes up with the holes in the back here. All right, let me. I doubt you believe me, but got them lined up there. Right there, see? The hole is lined up with the hole in the back of the cupboard there. And that's where H goes. Now we have, I think, 3 more pieces. And now I'm kind of wishing I had the manual again. Maybe I should go back to the beginning of the tape. Because the other 3 are J, which also has an up, right? And not too about done, there's an I. Whoa, it's an I, trust me. And the I, all these have little holes, like already put in there. See, a little hole there, and but none across the back here. And so between, I think, the H, which is down there, and the J, no I, which has no up or down, so I just put the thing up back this. You have this this thing, this piece of plastic we almost threw away, but it says Q on it, right? So it says Q, and just keep it. And I believe how this is going to go is you're going to have H down there, J, and Q goes like this. There's notches there, and put that like that. Put H in this other notch thing, and fit it into place here. So let me attack that. Okay, so now you got H here, a little different angle. H there, up, Q right there in the middle dot, and I. Then you have a little part here at the bottom, and that's where the third one goes, which I think is J. Yes, and it too. It wants to tell you what's up. So, up. And so that is just going to go. I notice here you have that fixed shelf in here, and you have the bottom part. So that goes right in there. Like so. Got it moved around so it's nice and squared up. There, and that's it. Except for, now comes the fun part. Back in the old days, they only had nails. And so you'd pound 500 nails in here. Now, your days, we've got these panhead screws here. So, I'm going to screw 500 screws in there. But basically there's already holes marked, like I said, I showed you. So I'm just going to make sure it's squared, make sure it's within that groove, and I'll just start screwing them in by hand because I don't know, I guess I could use a power screwer, but I just don't want to, you know, that's a little bit overkill. So I'll be screwing away here. Okay, so after another week and 27 of these little small screws here, we now have the backs on and secure, and I'll be propping it up against the wall to work on the door part. I'll use a couple of rags here to make sure it doesn't mark any paint. I have some doors on this thing, because even though it's fun to just look in the cupboard and see all the people's stuff, you know, you put on some kind of door. And the doors are M and M. Right, here's a M. Trust me. And the M1 is the, if you're facing it, it's going to be the right-handed door, right side here. Right, it goes on something like that. The part that comes out is that right there. You see that hole there? That's for the knob. If I turn it around, you can see the hole is inset, right? So that's where the screw goes through. So you make sure the non-inset side is going to be coming out. And the way the hinges go, let's see if we can do a little zooming in here. We've got a hinge. It's going to go like this. Boop. So you got this hinge here, and this part is going to be the door that goes in there. And when it opens up, weird little hinge. Don't get installed on the ground. When it opens up, it's going to be like this. So this part here is going to go right in there. In fact, if I zoom in on it, you can maybe almost see right in, man, dark and forbidding. Right in there, you see that? There's two little holes. Yeah, right there, right there. Yeah. Anyways, that's where the hinge is going to go. Now, I don't know if this part is hinges on the door first and then put on that, or if it's hinges on that, and then put the door on. But let's just do little hinges on the door part. So I get the right part facing out again, and you're looking at this right in there to where this slaps on like so. Now, front side, back side of the door. Back side door has two little holes there, and that's where the curved part of the hinge gets on like this. And so I'll sink two screws in here and here, and then I'll do it to the bottom part of the door too. All right. And the screws I'm using, the screw I'm using is not the pan heads one, the little countersink, the V ones, like that. Right? Probably hard to see, but it's the only one that we have left. That we have a bunch of them. They're small. Put it that way. Okay, so apparently I'm a little bit of a liar. This one here, M, is actually, because you look up here, right here is a little dot. Hard to see, but a little dot there, and what that gets is a little plate on it, which looks a lot like this. Shiny. And so, said plate should go across it. Like that, and you sink in one of those little screws there to hold it in place. And so that there is going to go at the top. And so I was surprised, but the knob, that's going to get a little bit higher in it than I thought it'd be. So I'll secure this plate, and then while I'm at it, hinges here, right? They pop out like so, and it's going to go on right over here, right to those two screw holes that are built into that side there. So let me add the plate and mount these four screws for these two hinges. Okay, maybe hard to see, but we got the striking plate up there. We got over here the hinges on and inside, and so here we go with the hole for the knob. And so I'll put the screw through. Looks like this here, and it goes through the hole into the recess part, and then the knob, gets out on the inside. This is pretty hefty. This is good metal knob. No qualms about this knob so far, except it seems high on the cupboard. But attach it like so, and then, like I said, you close it, and then you have that plate up here. So you can kind of mess with a little bit how far you want to close. I'm going to go with the bottom shelf, which is right down here. Once again, kind of hard to see, but I'm going to make this line up with the door, and that's where I'm going to tighten up the screws up here to that lock. I mean, that magnet, right? So when someone goes to close this, it doesn't, actually go past that shelf, hopefully. All right, that's one side. And I want to see what I'm doing up here. I'm working around that part. So I tighten on this one here with the door kind of closed. And this one here I'll snug on down. Okay, so after, we're almost done with this, believe it or not. We've got that part in here. Now the other door, nice. The other door, believe it or not, goes on the exact same way, only mirrored to that door. Okay. So I will attach to the door. And then we have, I think, one more step on this assembly. Alright, and there we got it. So both doors are on. Magnet closure. The only thing I can see right now from the get-go is up here at the top. Right, it's a little pet peeve of a lot of people. I don't know if you can see it, but this door here is a little bit lower. This one's higher. Shifting didn't seem to help too much because I think it's the legs that are shifting, not the cupboard. So if it's not cattywampus, which it shouldn't be, these hinges that they have, I can try adjusting a little bit with taking the screws back out and tighten them, whatever. The bottom though, like that almost seems like an eighth. I don't know. Maybe it's about the same. So let's say the bottom part here, which is hard to see. You can't see it. It doesn't like it's that much off. Anyway, so we got this here. Last step of this assembly is the shelf, right? Open this thing up wide and go get that part. So the shelf part takes no screwdriver. You will recognize it as E, numeral E. Just kidding. Letter E, numeral. That's this thing right here, right? It's not too thick there. You see, it's about a maybe a tight ½ inch, right? And what holds that on is these little plastic L brackets. So when you come around here, for now, I will just zoom on in here, and I don't think it's going to show up, but there's 3 different hole positions. I'm going to go right for the middle position. That's probably the most popular one, and of course the bottom of the L comes out. Oh, it was dark back there, huh? And so, grab the other one here. No, on these, it turns around, so the bigger flat part is actually up. Okay, I don't know if that. This is hard seeing the black on the espresso, but let me see if I can zoom in. Not so much. So, okay, right here. You see. No, you don't. Anyways, the flat part is the top. And so that is different from most other shelving units I've been doing before. And these plastic things, I don't know. But then again, I think the whole thing is rated as not really holding a whole lot of weight. So, but it should be hanging off that. After that goes in, the shelf can go in any way it looks like it wants to. Alright, if you put it in that one, it does cover up that, yeah, covers up basically that spacer thing in the back. And, yeah, there's a shelf. Oh, that's a better view. So, as you can see, hardly. There, it covers up the joining P? No, Q. that join the two backboards together. It's covering that up nicely. So here it is, more or less. Might as well shut the doors because it looks like it's better to see with the doors shut. And right, so they do have a shelf down here, hard to see, of course. Shit about my light. Yeah, so okay. Questions, comments? Go ahead and link down below. This particular item, you know, I kind of been talking to them about why I selected this particular one, and it came down to it was in a decent price range, which I think was still at least a couple hundred, maybe, on a sale. And they thought it looked nice, and yeah, it does kind of look nice. But I don't know, how should I put this? This is from the blue store that, you know, starts with an L, like I already named them out, and it's their particular brand name of stuff. The store owns that brand. The big orange store with an H, that has its own brand of stuff, but they didn't see anything there they said they liked. And I hate to choose sides and stuff, but I'm kind of partial to the out of towner, the store from Sweden, Switzerland, Norway. No, basically it starts with an I and ends in a Kia. Right, so it starts with an I and ends in Kia. And I've done quite a bunch of products from those places for people. And you know what? I think they build them and test them and then rebuild them. You know, they get more feedback. They seem more beefy or something, more structurally sound. This here, like I said, it's a little wibbly wobbly right now. I will leave it on the ground on its back for now until it's ready to go in its final spot. But once you get those two things up there, the two screw bolts up there in that top rack, and maybe even on the one down here below the shelf in the back, but definitely the top one, that's going to make this pretty solid. Now, the one thing that nobody's checked on that I don't think is this part. Some people have said, I believe, that, you know, your toilet goes in there. Sure, not here because of the carpet, but in the bathroom. You know, toilet fits in there. You have a tank usually comes up. I think this bathroom happens to have a tank that might be lower because it's a one piece. But the flusher, I believe, is on top. So either people have to like reach their hand underneath here to push it, or I'm going to have to drill a hole through the top here to get down there. Or maybe it's just going to change the whole thing. And man, maybe like just cut these legs off and hang it like a cupboard. Who knows that's another day for fun. I probably won't film that, so who knows what's going to happen. But some people also have noticed that when you get these things, and if you have the elongated toilets that, you know, come out longer, when you lift up the seat, you know, it hits this part. So a bunch of things are going to happen when I go to install this, and maybe I'll have some comments later about it if you want to ask questions on it. So thanks for watching. Questions, comments, like I said already, put them down below. If there's anything you want me to try to assemble or do, let me know. Although I'm kind of limited on what things I get coming across my camera. And okay, I'll go away now. Thanks for watching. Bye.